Hey, welcome to another episode of Beers and Bars Beer Review. Today I'm going to be actually reviewing Cerveza Caguama, brewed by Cerveza La Constancia from El Salvador. This is a lager, and it has an ABV of 4.6. So that's what we'll be doing today. This sucker, you guys might have seen it. As far as I'm concerned, it came out a couple of years ago because that's when I started seeing it. It's probably been around in El Salvador for a while, but it probably came over to compete with Corona, which was doing very well. So let's go ahead and try it out there. I bought this at Food for Less 12-pack for $10.98. So let's see this sucker here. As you can see, I've been drinking already. Been trying a couple more beers. I've been on a Latin American beer trip. Last week I did Carta Blanca. Just earlier today, I did a Famosa beer review. I mean, guys, what better to say? Hey, I'm doing a beer review. I'm doing this as a hobby, but I'm hoping to make some advertising funds. That's the thing with the ladies. Just let them know I'm trying to get some advertising funds. Even though the only people looking at this are drunks. Don't worry about it. We're looking for advertising funds. Alright, guys. Back to the Caguama. I'm just pour this sucker here. Alright. Well, as you can see, it's a typical lager. It's clear. I mean, I think the head depends on the pour. It depends on the pour, but here's the deal. If you pour it and the head dissipates, obviously it dissipates quickly. There's not a lot of head. If you pour it either way and the head stays for a while, it's some good head. A guy would call some at the beer at the top, call it head, right? Okay. So you smell the grain, the barley, the malt of it. I mean, it smells like Corona. I mean, quite frankly. I mean, a lot of times people try to get more critical, more technical about the beer. I worked at Starbucks for 2 months. Okay, and I guess here's the thing. I love Starbucks. I love the way they treat the employees. The way they treated the employees, the way they gave them ownership over the company was great. But what I didn't understand is we had to have coffee tastings. And as a coffee taster, for me personally, I thought they all tasted similar. Now, but that's not the thing with beer. Obviously, with beers, in the same genres, they're going to taste similar. So this one is in the same genre as a Corona lager, so it's going to taste the same. But if you drink a pale ale, if you drink an IPA, if you drink different beers, you're going to taste the differences. But within those genres, it's going to be similar, right? Correct? So there's nothing wrong with me saying that this sucker, even though Corona's from Mexico and Caguama is from El Salvador, because the brewing style is similar. This is a lager, as the same thing as Corona. It's going to be similar. There's nothing wrong with saying it's similar. You don't got to come out of your ass with this one has rainbows coming out of it. I mean, it's similar. It's the same thing. I'm telling you what it's similar to, so that when you buy it, you understand that it's similar to a Corona, because everybody is drinking Corona. Maybe somebody hasn't drank Caguama. But for me personally, when Corona is $15 for a 12-pack and Caguama is $10 for a 12-pack, I'm going to buy Caguama, because for me personally, I know it's similar. I know it's the same thing. Even though Caguama is not widely available at restaurants and stuff like that, it's a good beer because it's similar. There's nothing wrong with being similar to a good selling beer. There's nothing wrong with it. Let's go ahead. I haven't even tasted it. I just got off on a rant. I haven't even tasted it. I do love Starbucks. Here's the deal with, there's only a certain amount of Latin beers that have a kick to it. There's the Dos Equis, there's the Bohemia, because they're different. But this one actually has that malty, grainy taste to it, some carbonation, but overall, it's a refreshing taste. But here's the deal: when you buy anything in a clear bottle, make sure you buy it from a place that sells a lot of beer. Because if you buy it from a place that doesn't sell a lot of beers, you're gonna get yourself a skunky beer. So always make sure that when you purchase anything in a clear bottle, and unfortunately, it's just true, clear bottles, they get skunky. That's why most of the time brewers put their beers in this, because they just get skunky. You know, I'm not a chemist, or I don't know why it happens. I just know it does happen, especially with Corona. If you buy a Corona from a place that doesn't sell a lot of beers, you're gonna get yourself a skunky beer. That's probably why they added lemon and salt to them. A beer should just be, well, you know, I shouldn't say anything. I enjoy lime or lemon in a beer once in a while. But if you're putting it in there because it's skunky, then there's something wrong with the beer. So make sure when you buy a beer, you buy it at a place that sells a lot of beer, so that it'll be fresh. Caguama is a good choice. I enjoyed it. So if you like Coronas, you'll like Caguama. And if you haven't checked out my beer shirt, it says "Oh Beer." It's available at beersandbars.com. Go check it out. We got large sizes because beer drinkers aren't usually small people. I'm just putting it out there. Alright? Thank you for listening to my rant. This happens when you review 2 or 3 beers in a day. But if you haven't done so already, have a great beer. Thank you for checking us out at beersandbars.com. Be safe.